Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be doing this spooky little woodland scene of two lonely little ghosts. Oops, got turned. So I hope you're having a fantastic day today. Another gorgeous day here in Ontario, Canada. Still warm. I'm loving it. Because we've had snow at this time of year. So we're in the mid 20s right now, Celsius. So that's awesome. So I thought today I would take you along with one of my mini paintings of painting a day that I have been doing with Lena, and that's Miss Linux 2010. And she has a channel here and a Patreon channel if you want to go check her out. I'll leave her link down below after I'm done the video. So this is the the cute little lonely little ghosts there. Got to feel sorry for them. And kind of a spooky looking little tree area. This is going to be a fairly easy one for anyone that is just starting out in acrylics, and I will show you step by step what I do. Now I haven't painted this one before, so it might take a little longer for me, just because I got to think about things, right? So I'm just going to put this actually up here so I can see it. I got a little clip. There. And let's see. It's not. I'm going to brighten you guys up. You probably can't see. I already drew very lightly some of the areas. The traceable and the reference photo is on my YouTube and Patreon membership, and you can download that and work along with me. What I recommend is when you get to a certain point, stop the video, and you can also stop the live, and then catch up to where I am, and then you can press the play button again. And if you have any questions, you can leave your questions in the chat or in the description, or not description, the comments below the video, and I'll get back to you. If you're going to leave your questions in the live chat, then put it all in caps so I'm able to recognize it between a question and just you guys chatting with each other. It's a little easier. So I always start background, work my way to the foreground, and not a whole lot of colors we're gonna have out, just a few. I have the titanium white, of course, and this is cadmium yellow medium. I believe this is Payne's Gray black. That's a carbon black. What did I get here? Burnt sienna and raw sienna and Van Dyke brown. I like the Van Dyke brown because it's not quite black, but it's a really nice, rich, dark brown. Or if you don't have Van Dyke brown, you can always use raw umber and just add a little bit of black to it. So I'm going to just wet the top of my canvas board. This is just little 5x5s I got on Amazon. Very inexpensive, so you don't have to, be worried that you're going to mess up a canvas or anything. And you can get them in packs of 24 or 25, I believe, and smaller if you don't want to get that many. And you can get them in different sizes too. I like these because they're easier to store if you're not going to hang them up right away. And then you can just fit them in a picture frame also, which is a little easier than the typical cradle board canvases. All right, so we're going to have a little sun in the center here, right about here. So I'm going to just use a little bit of this medium, cadmium medium, and I'm going to add a little bit of this burnt sienna to it. I just want it off, not quite. And just in the center here, it'll be the brightest. And then as I go, I'm just going to add that cadmium color. Actually, I'm going to add a little bit of white to that. I want it more on the kind of a peachy color, actually. If you happen to cover up your lines, you can always retrace it. So don't worry about painting around things. This is a very simple one. You probably won't even need to trace it. Because really, you don't need to make the trees exactly the same. You can make them a little more realistic if you wanted to. These are kind of spooky. Maybe you don't like spooky. This is still wet, so I'm able to just go right over top. And then can someone, well, actually, no, I already know that because I turned off the sound. I was going to ask someone, let me know if the sound is okay, but I'm pretty sure it is. I'm going to make it a little bit lighter on the bottom part here. So I'm not waiting for my paint to dry. And then a little more of that titanium white right in the center here where that sun is. It's kind of a foggy day, I guess. I'm going to put just a touch of yellow in my brush just to change that color up a little bit. I just want a little bit different than the other part of the sky, just so that you know that's one of the brighter areas, so that must be the sun. But you don't want it to stick out too much. Okay. Now I'm going to add a little bit more of that burnt sienna, darken this mix up here that we had. A little bit of. I'm going to darken just the edges here a little bit. The spookiness. I like darker edges. Okay. You can play with it till you get it the way you want. Now, the waterway goes in like this, is going to be the Payne's gray color. So I'm going to actually dry this first. Alrighty. Now we have a reflection in this part of the waterway down here, and we want to have the sky reflecting into this water. So we want the same color that we made for the sky. Maybe a little, just a tad darker in there. And it's basically just in the water here. So you don't have to go on the land. And there's going to be shadows and trees reflecting into the water. It's not going to be a real light area though. Okay, just like that. And then a little bit of the lighter. So I'm going to put a lot of white, maybe a little bit more yellow in there. And now I want this area to be a little bit lighter. Just right in there. And you can kind of play with a little bit of streaking in there if you want. Hey, Devin. I'm driving home, so I will be lurking until I get there. Okay. Yeah, don't get in an accident. Hey, Tiff. Oh, thanks. All right. Now, let's try that part, and then I'm going to put my little picture back on. So if you've got, I've got some graphite here. It's that Sorel, I think it is called. Now the trick is to get it back in the same position. And I had mine, let's see, pen. I'm just going to see if this is lining up at all. I think so. And I just want to put in the waterway. You don't have to put all the trees in. But if you want to, you can. They don't really have a whole lot of twigginess, I guess you could say. It looks like dead pines. Let's put these little guys back in. Did I still have them in? Oh, well, it helps if you put it on the right way. I did it again. See? It happens to the best of us. Let's see if it's on there. Yep. I have a hole in this paper from all the ink. Ghosties in. Now I've already traced yours out for you in the traceable. But basically, if you don't want to spend the time drawing, you can just go ahead and trace the reference photo. I would download probably a couple of them though, because it does get wear and tear on it. There we go. And I'll bring my paint back. All right. I'm going to get a baby wipe out. Wherever I see, let's see. Any of those marks aren't really coming off. I'm going to have to repaint it. That's the one thing about that tracing paper is if you happen to get marks on it, it will show. And if your paint isn't cured enough, it will leave marks. That's good. All right. Now the edges, mainly in this area, is really, really, really dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Payne's Gray, and I'm going to mix a little bit of black with it, because I want it very dark. And even darker. Yeah, there we go. Don't forget the sides of your canvas too if you're doing a canvas. And then it's very dark in here. You can't hardly see anything on there actually. And then there's kind of just little marks where the water is rippling around. You could put your marks in with your traceable so you don't go past it, but this should do. This even is fairly dark, this tree. So what we're going to be doing is basically adding highlights to the ground. So even these little ghosts, you could paint the little bits of ground that they're standing on. They're kind of standing on a hill, a bit of a hill. I'm going to get a smaller brush just to work around. Let's see. Like angled brushes. All right, some black again, a little bit of Payne's Gray. That's basically the water's edge that you're putting in. And these little guys. Go around the folds in the ghost. that. And it's fairly dark in here. Now, if you want, you could put your trees in. This is all dark in here. It's going to look weird in this first part because these are the base coats that you're putting on. It always looks a little funny when you first put these on. All right, now just going to go around the waterway. There's lots of hills and I like this one. I think it's cool. And it gets a little lighter back here. Let's see, this tree is right, let's see. This is the first water, second water, and then this here is a tree, great big tree. And I'm just gonna, I want it kind of gnarly. It's probably an old pine that died. You know how they have these little bits and pieces sticking out? And then there's, oh, right there's a big limb. Like this. It's fairly big if you look at the reference. And there's other limbs coming off of it and all kinds of, dead stuff. And doesn't have to look clean, like a clean break or anything. And then this here is also fairly, I'll show you a smaller one. Could probably put beside me here so you can see it. We're just doing this side here. So that's that tree. And then this one, we have a bunch of limbs coming down in there. This is just the base coat, so don't worry too much on how it's looking, because we add to it. It always looks weird. Let's see if I can get that glob off there. And they kind of, it's so dark that you can hardly see where everything is basically positioned. Let's see, I got that, yes, that. We'll put the other marks in later. Let's do this side now. Okay. So I got this tree here, and it kind of comes out like this. And very, very up a little bit more. Breathe it. Lots of broken stems and branches and whatnot. Home now, looking. Oh, that was quick. You must have been just about home. A little bit thicker, I think, right there. And we have there. And then up on the hill here, around the ghosts, it's dark. So I'm just going to paint around these guys. I don't want to paint over them because they're white and it's really hard to cover over a dark paint. Put water in my brush. I thought this was a cool one. You could do this in watercolor too. It would look really cool. Let's see. That there. Kind of. It is a challenge, I must admit, working on a small canvas. Let's see. I think that goes up a little bit more. And if you don't like how it's turning out, there's always gesso. Just let it dry, and then you can try again. Don't fret. And don't worry if your trees are looking different than what the reference photo is. Remember, it's a reference photo. You don't have to have it exactly the same. There's another one up there. It's kind of up on a bit of a hill. And this one here. Yeah, I think I'm just going to put 3 in. I think I made mine a little bit fatter than what is in the picture. But I want this one to kind of spread out a little bit. So it shows the Lots of stuff coming out. Maybe that looks like maybe moss or stuff in there. All right. And then I've got a little bit of water on my brush, and this time I want to put just the back here where the river goes around the bend. Just it's a little bit lighter, but it tells me where things are. Now there's kind of a misty background, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that Payne's Gray with that mix, but a little more Payne's Gray in it this time, and fairly watered down. Maybe a touch of white in it. Yeah, I want kind of a light grayish color. And there's a bunch of, maybe even a little bit lighter, a bunch of scrub brush and vines and, you know, all that. I'm going to get a smaller brush for this. So I'm going to use my let's see, this is Simply Simmons script. It's a nice size. I like this one. It's a number 1. It's a little more control with the shorter bristles. And then you can you could use a Posca too. It's kind of all over the place in here. It's all these vines and little sapling trees that died. When it's scruffy looking. I wasn't far now that we've moved into town. Everything is closer. Did you use AI to create your original image? No, this one I got. I belong to Creative Fabrica, and I have a commercial license, so I get to use their illustrations. So that is a great resource if you're stumped in not sure what you want to paint. I think that's probably the biggest problem with people. They could call it artist block, but really it's you run out of ideas. So this place, I love it, and there's nothing wrong with getting ideas as long as it's you have a license for it. That's how all the stamps are made, and you know, all the coloring books and there's all kinds of stuff that you can make over there. Coloring books. Oh, the cut and collage books are all made from there. So, like all these collage books that you're seeing everybody going crazy over, I recognize a lot of the artwork that's in them. It's from Creative Fabrica, and they must have a commercial license, and you can create your own. So you're the publisher, and you get to make the books, publish them, get the royalties. Some of the Halloween cut and collage books look, yeah, there are a lot of AI, and you do have, if you're gonna publish it, you do have to acknowledge that it's either partially or fully AI work in it. Even the cover has to be, if you used AI to make your cover, then you have to actually say that. I'm going to add a little bit of black to that. I just want a little darker down here. A little bit too much. Yeah, I was thinking of maybe making one up, selling it for Christmas. See how it goes. Never know. So I have a ton of the what would you call them, illustrations, and everybody seems to like them. So why not join in and make a buck? There's so many of them out there that you might get a few crossovers from someone else, but they're all pretty well different. All right, so I'm going to dry that. All right, so before I get too ahead of myself, which I have been known to do, I want to get a scruffy brush, blender brush. Use one. I thought I had a bigger one though. Let's see it. This is a Princeton. These are great. They're Princeton Select Round Blenders. And they're great for doing kind of foggy stuff with. Yeah. Oh, there's so many things you can do. It's unbelievable. And it's not that difficult. You just have to, play with another program. But why not? It's more or less dry brushing what I'm doing here to make that kind of fogginess background. And I'm just using the titanium white. You kind of have to scruff it off the side there because you don't want it. See, it's a bit. And then you can go over top of the trees a little bit. A little spookiness in there. Yeah, I'll test things out. Maybe what I'll do, I'll test things out and I'll let you guys test them out on my memberships. See what you think before I make them. That might be kind of fun. Be part of my process. So I just wet my brush a little bit. With clean water. And you can move the paint around a little bit more when you do that. Kind of give it that fogginess. That would be great. We can be your beta. Yeah, you're in my beta group. That's good. Now, on the top part, some of these trees would be a little bit on, let's do a little bit of this more orangey colors. And I'm going to put it kind of in here in the back. I probably should have done this before, but I can always go back over with blacks and stuff, but it'll just fog things out a little bit in here. It would be a lighter, or not lighter, darker fogginess, I guess. Just along the top part where the orangey colored sky is. Maybe a little more in there. This would be darker in there. A little bit darker in there because it would be getting a little more down. Maybe I'll get a little, just a smidgen of that color in here. Don't want that bright yellow shining through, but I want to be able to see there. I want to be able to see the stems and stuff still. It needs to be a little darker on the bottom part here. Let's see. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And you can get really fancy depending on, how much detail you want. I'm not going to put a whole lot of detail in this one because it's so small. All right, let's put a little bit more of that water in. And this time it's more of the Payne's gray color. That's what I want. So it would be, let's water it down a little bit. Maybe put a little bit of white in it. And there are dark sections in here. Where the and you'll see more of it once we put the leaves and stuff like that. The highlights. This would be dark in here. Again, this is basically a base coat. All right. It'd be quite dark along that edge of the banks. because they're kind of on a hill a little bit. Some of these trees. It's pretty dark in here. You got to put the little ghosts reflections in the water too. And then kind of right in here, this reflection of the tree is going to be in here. So it'll be like uneven, but the same with this here is going to reflect like that. And we have a reflection here. Quite a bit of color in there. And then there's still reflections off of the bank of the tree, or right there. That looks pretty good. Okay. And a little bit, this one here needs a little bit more in here. Right there. And then we can put the ghosties in. That would, oh. All right. Now, so these guys, you're seeing the reflection. That's why I put the tree reflection in first. Should be actually a little darker, maybe. Yeah, I think I should put a little bit more right in there. A little bit darker. Right in there. This is dark. That should be good. I can fix anything after. But I did want that to be fairly dark. All right, so let's dry that. All right, now we're going to add, yeah, I guess we could add the little, no, I'm going to put the, thinking maybe we'll put the little leaves and stuff in. I'm just seeing what brush I want to use. Yeah, well, let's use this one. Okay, this is Terry Harrison Golden Van Gogh Small. It's fuzzy. That's why I like it. So it's not wet, and I'm going to put a bit of, we'll start off with, let's use this, I guess. So that's the burnt sienna. And you want it still flared out. And hopefully this is going to be not too bad. And just tap. Just pay attention to your reference photo when you're doing this. Not all of it will show all over the place. Sometimes you'll see patches. Or it might be very, very, very slight. This is very small canvas too. This one here has some more on my brush. I'm just lightly tapping. This kind of goes up the hill a little bit. Same with this one. Up the tree a little bit. And a little bit in there, I think. All right. I can rinse my brush out and dry it off as good as possible with some paper towel. Did I just hit my mic? Sorry if I did. I'm not used to wearing a mic. So I just squeeze it. Hey, Kathy. Good to see you. Let's see. Now we're going to go into the raw sienna. So it's more on the goldish side. And I'm just tapping again on my, see how it's very, very, just want light taps. And now you go back over where you did it before. Just slightly. I'm glad I didn't do those little ghosts yet. Might have a little bit more in some areas. Maybe the it's a little bit lighter in that area for some reason. Going up the tree, maybe. I think this is a hill here. That. A little bit up the tree. Just sweeping it up. You can always fix it by adding the dark color back on. So don't like some of the areas. Let's see how they kind of shows up the ground now. Now it makes sense. Okay, thanks. We can take our liner brush or maybe even something smaller. Let's see what we got here. Because I'm working with such small, you need small brushes. So this is a number 3 knot. And we can add a little bit of detail. It's so minute. You can hardly tell, but it does make a difference on the trees. So it's just a bit of siennas or whatever color you have, umber. You can add both if you want. You can just lightly dry brush it. Let's see. You might even have some tree branches. I don't know if this is going to work. I think it's too much water. Let's see. A little bit. And there's kind of branches here and there. I don't like that brush. So let's get something a little bit finer that's got a better brush tip. Or this one might work. Don't want too much water on your brush when you do this. That's better. Just light touches on your canvas. I'm basically just dry brushing. This one here goes across like this. I'm going to put a little bit of black on there. That. A minute. Got a bunch of notifications. Ground really adds to it. Yeah. Now you can also see, you can put different more limbs and stuff like that on them. Depends how much you want to do as far as detail. If you like it the way it is, then leave it. It's your painting. I think there's some kind of mossy stuff hanging off this. I'm just going to dab. This darker one here and there. Maybe some of the branches have this moss on it. I'm thinking it's moss, but it might be something else. I don't know. Looks like it's from BC or something. And nice and spooky. Then you could also take some black and just a little bit of water on your brush with some black and go around some of the edges here. Darken them up a little more. Just along the banks, because they would be darker. I gotta change my water right back. And I'm gonna be doing white. All right. Yeah, if you're gonna work in lighter colors, you have to get clean water, or it won't work. I'll mic back on. There. All right, let's paint these little ghosties. And I think I'm going to use this 1/4 inch or 1/8 Simply Simmons. And paint him kind of, he's going to be an off-white, not white. So just pick up a little bit of this mix there, just so that it's a little bit more on the dirty gray side. And I'll just paint him in. So base coat again. And this guy. That. And I'm going to put the reflections in here too. So at the very edge of the waterway, you put him in. And then this guy here. He's a little taller because he's closer to the water. And that. And then on the bottom part, I want it kind of more a little bit more grayish color, not as bright. So I'm just using that gray that I used over here. And he's kind of got a shadow, which is weird because he's a ghost. They shouldn't have shadows, right? Maybe it's kids wearing their mom's sheets. And then we'll put the shadows in this guy. Just do your best. Doesn't have to be exact. A little bit of white. Just on the top, basically on the top of his head. Be the brightest area. Some of the folds where it's folding upwards would have the white showing. That. These don't have to be as detailed. And I'm going to just, let me see how big this is going to be. No, I think that's too big. I want a really small, what could I use? I don't think I have one of those, what are they called? I want a really good point. I want a nice round end. Let's see. Nope. A point. Oh, this one's not bad. Let's use this. Let's see what we get. might work. Let's see. This guy. That. And then just a very small mark for the ones in the water. You're not really seeing a definite roundness though, but you will see kind of like a you'll actually see maybe a double. That's what it's showing. Like that. Yeah, they're cute. And then I'm going to take a little bit of this Payne's Gray and just go around the edge of this a little bit darker. Like that. Just on the inside here, be a little bit darker. There we go. All right, that's looking pretty good. I'm gonna take I'm gonna make this a little bit, it's too bright. So let's take this and make it a little bit more umbery or dirtier, I guess. Too bright. It's better. A little bit of water in my brush. I want more of a glaze than anything else. Right in here is more pinky, I guess. Get a little bit patches of that's better. All right. Now, I think I need a little bit. I'm just going to take this. This is a, oh, they haven't got the name. It's like a grainer brush. And just on this hill here, I think it needs a little bit of, let's see, what do I want to do it in? Probably blue, Payne's Gray. And kind of some more stuff sticking out. A bit of moss stuff in here. No, I don't like that. Let's take that off. Okay. Right in here needs to be few. And then it's like it's almost a furry tree. A bit darker in there. Yeah, there maybe. I'm getting quiet. Yeah. Maybe some loose. Here it is. Branches. Few coming out here maybe. No, I don't like that. Take it off. I need something very, very, let's try this one, thin. Because I want a thin branch. It's very hard to. Maybe, yeah, that's good enough. Okay, this is going. Let's put. I'm going to put a little bit of that color in here. Bank. Maybe a little bit of dark. And that's just the Payne's gray I'm using. It's all experimenting. All right, now we have to put marks into the water so it looks like ripples. And to do that, let's see, I want a nice chiseled brush. It's got a nice sharp edge to it. Let's see if this one will work. We want kind of a, not white, but we want it, well, maybe a little bit of yellow in it. That should work. Okay. So it's got to go across the water. It's just more or less touching. Doesn't have to be a lot. You just have to have the right amount of water on your brush for it to work. Just a few in there. The further back, the closer they are to each other. So we almost go across the ghosts. Not quite as many here and further apart. Water on my brush. I think that's good. Now you could also put a little bit of Payne's Gray and do the same thing. Because ripples have some shadows. So you kind of just very, very slight though. Don't do it too much or it won't look right. Just the slightest. You have to have a real good chiseled edge to your brush. I can go in here with a little bit more because it's dark. And I think I could put a little touch of blue in the bottom here. Let's see. More of a glaze on the bottom of the ghosts. Kind of a dirty look on the bottom. That. Now a little bit of that white and a little yellow. Let's some of those back in. He kind of has a highlight around his eyeball, but this is so darn small. Let's see, what can we use? Let's try this marker. Hey, Chris. Just around, oh, yeah, the see it's very tiny. Well, I could put a can always put black back over that to fix it. All right. And then fix his eyeball. Make sure your brush is a good point. Enough. Cool. I like him. Well, there he is. Two lonely little ghosts. I think it turned out pretty good. You could put bats in there. You could darken this area. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll darken some of that area just a bit. I want it kind of moody looking. I'm just using umber, or not umber, this one, burnt sienna, just to darken that area up a little bit so it's not too bright. I don't want bright. It's supposed to be spooky. A bit darker in there. There. I think that works. All right. So there he is. What should I call it? Lost. I think they're cute. You're welcome. Thanks for coming. All right. Well, I'll let you guys go, and we'll see you on Tuesday. And I'm not sure what I'll be doing. We'll see. But yeah, try painting or drawing, whatever. Create every day. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't have to be a canvas. But if you're going to create whatever every day, I'd love to see what you're doing. You can always tag Lena and I on Instagram. And it's Kathy and Lena Challenge on Instagram. And then that way we'll get to see what you guys are doing. It's a lot of fun. You do learn a lot by doing it. So I highly recommend giving it a try. I'm just doing my edges here. I like my edges done. You know, a lot of people are doing Inktober. I love it. Cute and creepy. Thanks, Kathy. And if I get my books done, I'll show you guys those cut and what is it, cut and collage books that I'm making. That way you can try them out, see what you think. There, I think it's done. All right. So have a fantastic weekend, everyone, and we'll see you on Tuesday. Bye for now.